First of all, Canadians need to know that we will always, as a government, as a country, stand up for the interests of Canadians in difficulties abroad. Over the past 3 years, as a government that has taken consular cases extremely seriously, we've seen a number of successes, but we've also demonstrated that to the world that we take very, very seriously defending the rights of Canadians. We do so by applying a set of robust principles around rule of law, around our expectations that the rule of law will be followed around the world, and we demonstrate that that is at the heart of our approach. In the case of the current consular situations, we're going to continue to defend them, to stand up for them, to ask for more information on the charges being brought forward or the reasons for detention. And we will continue to engage on a case-by-case basis in a thoughtful way on any consular cases that come up.
And secondly, the Chinese apparently arresting Canadian citizens at will, if the Chinese threatening Canada with severe consequences. Is there a point at which you might consider showing a few Canadian teeth just to kind of let the Chinese know that you aren't a pushover, or are you basically playing defensive on this file?
I think we have been consistent in our engagement with China. We have always looked for ways to benefit mutually in the creation of jobs and prosperity for our citizens by accessing the growing middle-class market in China for our producers, our agricultural and our tourism providers here in Canada. But we've also been unequivocal about standing up for human rights, the rule of law, and a predictable rules-based international order. We will continue to demonstrate that we take these principles and these values very seriously, and expect our trading partners and all countries around the world to be similarly committed to the rule of law. We have to remember there are tens of thousands of Canadians who live, travel, work in China in any given year. There are obviously regular situations where Canadians require consular assistance. We are, of course, taking any and every situation seriously, as we always do. But we are looking into the details on this most recent one that doesn't seem to fit the pattern set by the previous two, but we'll have more to say as we collect the facts on this issue.
So on the previous two, why don't you publicly demand the release of those detained Canadians when the American Secretary of State has already? And at what point will you consider reaching out, speaking to the Chinese president to try and lower the temperature?
One of the things that I've learned over these past 3 years of being engaged in consular cases and showing a modest amount of success in securing the return of Canadians in difficulty around the world is that every case is different. It requires a complex approach that is a combination of multiple different elements. When I was in opposition, as a leader of the opposition, I remember standing in the House and challenging Mr. Harper to pick up the phone and get this Canadian released. I now understand that it's always a lot more complicated than that, and we have engaged in a very, very thoughtful way on trying to get the best outcome. And sometimes politicizing or amplifying the level of public discourse on this may be satisfying in the short term, but would not contribute to the outcome we all want, which is for Canadians to be safe and secure. I want to be very, very careful about how we characterize this. There have been early indications that it is not the case, but we are still very much in the situation of collecting more information on this, and I wouldn't want to say any more than that. But we will obviously, as we understand more of the details of this case, will be forthcoming with Canadians so that they understand what's going on.